Hey folks, and welcome to my review of the Soundpeats Air3 Deluxe HS, which is quite a mouthful, and these are the world's first half-in-ears. As you can see that guy wearing them, which actually use LDAC, which is quite something. And yeah, as usual, full disclaimers, I'd like to thank Soundpeats themselves for sending this sample out, so thank you very much. I was not paid to do this video, and all thoughts and opinions are my own. So the box is a bit bigger than normal kind of Soundpeats, and that's what they look like. So 14.2mm driver, up to 20 hours playback, dual mics, and obviously I'll do a mic test in a bit. LDAC, what it's all about, and obviously high res, just 24-bit 96 kHz I think. And yeah, let's just get into it. So let's just get into it. No, oh, some extra specs for you. Bluetooth 5.2, I think most of the range is 5.2 now. There's a frequency response range. I think it has to hit 40 to be classed as high res. Maximum distance is 10 meters, which is normal. Playtime is up to 5 in reality, and obviously 20 with the case. And that's it really. So obviously they did sit here, and here they are, been using them a bit. A negative, as you can see, is the fingerprint smudges and stuff like that. Obviously Type-C. Charge light, a button there, open it up, tries to pair. Let's take the left one out. So these are very similar to the Air3s, which I'd done a couple of months ago by now. Same kind of shape, half in ears, and obviously that's a touch button there with the S, and that's pretty much it. So these do have more mics. Obviously I'll do a test in a bit. Very straightforward, and that's it. You can use these with the app. But when I last checked with the app, you have to log in, and you shouldn't have to really create an account, so I've skipped the app this time. There you go, app info, guide there, and in there is just a charge cable, so pretty normal, or just use your phone cable if you've got Type-C, just in there, and let's get it out. So it's quite a short cable. So again, you can just use your phone cable. So that's it. So the next clip, we're going to go quickly go through the guide, and then a mic test, and then the review. So it's the standard Soundpeats kind of guide. It has more than enough information about pairing, which is there. You can actually hold the button to do it. I think on the first pair you don't have to do that, but there's the information there. How to do like a factory reset, how to wear them, the button presses, the visual way, but the text one is always better, as you can see. You can pair them on, off, play, pause. They do actually have auto pause if you take them out your ear, which is quite useful. Got volume control, previous track, next track. Sometimes on these you miss the previous track. This can do it. Answer, hang up, reject phone, obviously reject, switch between two calls, which is useful. How to manually enter pairing, hold the charge case button, enter exit game mode. Game mode is 60 milliseconds or very close to it. Voice assistant if you need it, game mode there, obviously gives you a prompt. Quick Q&As with the colours. Again, it's all standard fare. How to charge it up. While the earbuds still connected, obviously because the case has probably got no battery, playtime there. And that's it. So yeah, in the next clip you'll hear a microphone test. And I actually have done a real phone call with a friend of mine for about 40 to 45 minutes straight. And it worked perfectly. He said I sounded very clear. And from my end, he sounded very clear. So it worked out quite well. So yeah, mic clip. And then the review. This is just a quick microphone test of the Soundpeats Air3 Deluxe HS. I'm using them in a quiet room, and obviously I'm using them in stereo. You can use them individually as well. I'm not really shouting or anything like that. This is just a normal volume, and that's pretty much it. So this is just a mic test. Yeah, so welcome to my review section of the Air3 Deluxe HS. Maybe the HS stands for like high res or something like that, but yeah, anyway, like you just heard the microphone, I think it sounds pretty good, to be honest. Like not much to say really. It sounds good. I was quite happy with it. So let's get on to like the battery life. It says up to a max of 5 hours. You can charge it roughly 4 times. That's about right. But 5 hours is the maximum. Like you realistically you won't hit that. Maybe on a super low volume, but yeah, that's it. So connection I found was spot on. So obviously I use these with my phone, and that was in my pocket, and it was fine. So obviously I'm in with the 10-meter range that they kind of not suggest or kind of recommend. Yeah, again at all. Like Soundpeats do typically have quite solid connections. I've tried maybe 5 items I think from them, something like that, and they're always pretty spot on really. So yeah, connection was good. Yeah, so latency, because it's got game mode, it gets to about 60 milliseconds. I tried it very briefly. I don't do mobile gaming, but it seems to be sufficient for what it is. I let more people who game with the phones have more time with it, but it seems okay for my very, very, very brief testing. But I just prefer the normal use, really. Pairing works fine. Again, you hold that for a couple of seconds and that flashes white. Connects to your phone, super easy, straightforward, not a problem at all. And yeah, controls. So as you can see, take these both out. That's the touch control. So through the menus, you can do everything. Just be wary when if you're holding them, or you might accidentally keep pressing the button. I've done that with the previous model. I'd accidentally pressed the touch button by accident. So that's one thing to bear in mind. But apart from that, they work fine really. I don't have no issues with it. And that leads me into kind of usage of these. So these have, so in here there might be a sensor, or there's the sensor for proximity. So if you take them out your ear, it pauses the track, put them back in, and it unpauses, so it plays it back. You can also manually get around this if you press play or pause on your phone, for example. So yeah, apart from that, it seems to work fine really. So far so good. So obviously a negative of this, but if you already know this, if you're going to buy these, is they're half in ear shape, so they don't seal. So think kind of earbud level isolation. So isolation is 0. Obviously that's that's the idea what these are for, so you can hear your surroundings. That is good or bad depending on the situation, but if you want situational awareness of your surroundings, these are what you want. So just bear that in mind. Oops. So yeah, works fine for stuff like that. Yeah, so sound. So what do these sound like? So obviously I can't graph these, so you have to bear that in mind. And they do remind me of the Air3s quite a bit. So overall they are quite balanced. There is a bit of warmth to the low end, so they are kind of mid-bass. There's a mid-bass emphasis. Sub-bass rolls off, obviously, because it's not sealed, as you can see. I think, and in the mid-range is a little point. I think needs EQ in it. Sometimes it sounds slightly off. But to be honest, the whole sound frequency range seems fine, really. It seems quite a safe tuning. It seems quite balanced from what I can tell. Yeah, it sounds pretty good, to be honest. And obviously these use LDAC. So I think the bit rate is 990 kilobits per second, which is overkill. Seems a strange mix to use LDAC with something that's half in ear. So I think you're losing that extra bit rate. Obviously, I think LDAC would be better with a sealed IEM, so you can hear everything and block everything else out. But I appreciate they've done that kind of chipset on here. They do sound pretty good, I think. And for what these cost, I think they're maybe $40 or less. I'll have to double check, and obviously I'll link everything in the description so you can check. And they'll probably be cheaper than that, so bear that in mind. But I think for what these will cost, it depends on when you're watching the video, they do sound pretty good. So conclusion, do I recommend these? Yes, I do prefer normal IEMs which seal off the world, and also for better bass response. but these do work very well overall. They sound good, very good signal strength. I don't mind the half-in-ear fit, it seems fine. Good microphone quality, super easy pairing, does all the controls that you need. Like, it's like hard not to recommend them. I'm not going to shill them, but they work fine. Now, negatives I would prefer is more battery life, like coming up to max of 5 hours, which is, I was hoping for more like 8, maybe 9, but at least 7 to 8 hours really, which is a bit of a shame. But apart from that, like, not much to say really. They do everything well, like most of the products they do sound good. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, overall they do a pretty good job overall. I'm quite happy with everything they do. I don't think I missed anything, but I think that's going to be pretty much it, to keep it simple. But if you want to know anything in particular or anything I might have missed, please do let me know in the comments. Yeah, thanks for watching, take care, and if you do like what I normally do, please do give me a like, it helps, and obviously subscribe, click the bell. I need all the help I can get, and yeah, see you in the next video, take care.